All right, Darren Christianberry, women's known pro. We just finished up there. Senior known pro is next. That is, let's tell folks at home what age bracket that is.
This is 50 plus. So senior means if you're 50 years or older, you can qualify as a senior. You get to shoot that. That means you may not have the greatest vision. You may not shoot like you used to, but we've got some really skilled guys out there that put up some great scores. This will be a good shoot-off.
Absolutely, it will. Let's take a look at how we got here this weekend at our scores. We have, there you go, Randy Morocco. Tell us about him. We know him well.
Randy is always in the mix, whether it be indoors, outdoors, you name it, Randy is in the mix. Tim Gillingham has always wanted to shoot known distance. He makes it very clear that the yardage judging contest is maybe not his favorite, so he's right there in the mix with a 430. Jimmy Butts has been a world champion archer from past years. He's back shooting some 3D. He's in third. Tony Fleshman, that's Tattoo Tony out of North Carolina with a 428. Paul Penrod. Paul's been a great Reading dot shooter. He's a great indoor shooter at a 426. So 10 points from first to fifth. This is really anybody's ball game.
It is. We're excited to get this one started, so let's go to our Nathan Brooks, and he's going to bring them out for us.
All right, our next event this evening is going to be the senior known pro division, and starting with our fifth place qualifier from Moberly, Missouri, shooting for PSE, Paul Penrod. And in fourth place, from Clemens, North Carolina, shooting for Elite, Tony Fleshman. And your third place qualifier from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, shooting for Darton, Jimmy Butts. And in second place, from Provo, Utah, shooting for Bowtech Archery, Tim Gillingham. And your first place qualifier from Austintown, Ohio, shooting for Matthews, Randy Morocco.
All right, Darren. So we know these folks, but some of our viewers at home may not recognize some of them. Mm-hmm. Tim Gillingham, I think everybody knows him. But it's great to see. So a lot of these other guys are primarily target shooters, indoor, NFAA stuff. But they found a home here in senior known pro.
They found a home. Manufacturers threw some contingency dollars at it, and they said, okay, let's go win some money. So just to know, you saw Tony Fleshman, number 4, set out an orange cone. Tim Gillingham, number 2, set out an orange cone. We mentioned earlier, they are calling upper 12. So they're shooting at the upper 12 ring. If they happen to fall and hit that lower 12 ring, it's just 10 points. The lower one will now be out of play for those two guys on this particular target. There's a good look at Tony. Tony is a very talented tattoo artist, Tony Fleshman. So if you're into some tattoos, you might want to look up Tony's work. He's pretty good. He displays some of it proudly. I don't think that's his work on his arms, but he's a very talented tattoo guy. Good look at Tony. Keep pulling, buddy. Keep pulling through that shot.
He's sticking with it.
Oh, he shot way right on that one.
Randy
Good look at Randy. I wonder what, did Gillingham go out to 14 right out of the gate?
He had to have.
Tim. He's a different kind of aggressive. He really is a different kind of aggressive. There's a good look at Tim and his stabilizers. Ooh, he's shot low. Now these are using rangefinders as well, so they know the distance. So we should see several bonus rings hit.
So Randy's.
He's going to get a 12.
48.
Yes, that's a great start for Randy, and Tim shot an 8, so he backed up a little bit, so that's going to make Randy's lead now 10 points over Tim.
Yeah, that's going to be...
I'm sure he's not happy with that.
No.
Tim usually wears his emotions on his sleeve, so...
I asked him on a scale of 1 to 10 how happy he was to be shooting known distance, and he says, it's not known distance. He said, this is archery.
It's not a yardage judging contest anymore.
It's not a yardage judging.
Good 10 for Jimmy Butts.
Jimmy Butts says he's wearing the Ricky Bobby Wonder Bread jersey there today.
I think Jimmy is self-sponsored, so.
There he is.
Tony's going to take a 5 on that one right there. 433 is what he's going to have now.
I'm hoping we get a look at Jimmy's shirt again, because it is actually the one Ricky Bobby. I saw Dennett Racing in the corner there.
That's the one that Dale, or not Dale. Dale
there
was
he
from
is.
Step
Look
Brothers.
at him.
Yeah, that's
Dennett. He's got Powerade. That's the actual Ricky Bobby jersey.
Shake and bake.
Good for him.
Did Paul call up, or he did? He's got his cone out, so he got a 12. Puts him at a 438. So we have a 3-way tie for second now with Tim, Jimmy, and Paul. And Randy's got a 10-point lead now. So 448 down to 438.
We just shook it up like that.
Yeah. This will go back and forth. These guys will shoot at some 14s. Tim has no choice now but to shoot at 14s. He's going to the Black Panther Gillingham, yes, so it's probably not there. There is a pretty good reference there. It may not be super easy to see. There's a good look at Randy. We said what a good shooter he is. He's a fantastic indoor shooter. He's always in the mix at Vegas and Indoor Nationals, Lancaster, and here he is leading with a 10-point lead, getting ready to shoot his second arrow. There's Mr. Penrod. He's shooting one of those PSE Dominator duos, I believe.
Yes, sir. That is correct. Paul is one who did come up, senior known 50. He was shooting before he came into this class here. He's got a win, ASA win under his belt.
Randy's his thumb going around that thumb barrel right there. He's going to add tension slowly to that till that release fires. There you go. Center 10 for Randy. 10. Good look at Paul. Looks like to be a back tension. He's shooting a hinge release.
Yeah.
Nice strong shot.
It's going to be a good 10 for Paul. He won. So NFA has a shoot in Redding, California every year. Paul won 2 in a row. He lost it last year to Tim Gillingham.
16 seconds on the clock. We don't know if we noted the each archer gets 1 minute to shoot these arrows, so they do have time to let down and regroup if things aren't quite right, but they only get 60 seconds.
All right, Paul. He's got a 10.
448 for Paul.
Shift over to the .36-yard antelope. Randy's shooting at there. It's going to be a 10.
10 for Randy. 10 for Randy. 58 now for him, if my math is correct. There's a good look at Tim and his stabilizer setup.
So he's got 4 30-inch stabilizers out there, does Tim Gillingham.
I'm sure he's boiling inside to miss both those first 2 rings.
He does
that was
not like that.
Just a hair to the right. 46 for Tim. I don't think he'll quit shooting at him, though.
No, he won't. Yep, a little just perturbed there.
Yeah, you can tell. He typically wears his emotions on his sleeves, but he's the most passionate guy you'll ever meet about this game, any archery game. Tim works harder than anybody. He really does.
Okay, Jimmy Butts also called in for 12. It's a solid 10, though.
Move Jimmy to a 48.
It's great to see Tony back after these years in the pro classes where he started out many years ago. See, he's got those nerves under control now and see he's going to make his move. Let's see.
10 points for Tony.
10 for Tony. All right, gentlemen.
43. So now we just have 2 guys tied at second place. 10 points behind Randy, and then Tim drops down to third with a 446. Or I'm sorry, Tim drops down to fourth.
Yeah, Mike was talking about Tony out there. He was 2001 Shooter of the Year, semi-pro world champ, so he was the semi-pro Shooter of the Year, and then just drifted away from ASA for a while. But
yeah, it's been. I knew Tony back then. That's how long I've been doing this stuff too. And Tony, we called him Tattoo Tony back in the day. Like you said, he just kind of went away for a while, but he's back. He shot the amateur division the last couple of years, and here he is in the senior gnome pro. There's Mr. Tim Gillingham.
So folks see that stabilizer setup. They will not see that anywhere else.
No, it's very unconventional. Very Tim Gillingham-esque. That's about, we've probably, if you've watched the broadcast before, I did some quick math. Now with the bar, not sure about his quick disconnects and stuff, but just in bars, he's got about $1,200 in just stabilizers right there. So that's probably a $1,500 setup if you were to go purchase everything he's got right there, just in stabilizers.
He talks about, he says it just slows down the movement of his bow there. He did call upper.
And he got that one, I believe. He's broke the ice and got a ring.
Yeah, that was a 49-yard black buck too. So that's our longest target.
Jimmy's working his clock a little bit. He's 26, 25, 24, and he's just now hooking his release on. So he did take a peek at the clock. Plenty of time to make a shot. 16, 15, 14. Plenty of time.
Into the core line there. That is not a scoring ring where he hit. That's a replaceable core.
Good look over the shoulder of Paul Penrod there. Watch that arrow track down through there. Boom. Just over the upper. He might have clipped the 10 ring on that.
First up, we got Tony with an 8.
Shot an 8.
451 for Tony.
Next up, Paul Penrod, placing 448, time for second place. Shooting bucks.
That's close.
It's just
should be just wide. If by my eyes, 8 points. 56. I wonder, this lighting's got to be different. I really, I'm not being critical of anybody, so don't get me wrong, but I thought we would really see some rings pounded here with these rangefinders, but this lighting may be making it very difficult to see where they're aiming. Is that for
that was Randy?
Yeah. So a little hiccup for Randy.
For 66. Yeah, I mean, that lighting as you're talking about, and we are talking about seniors. We know one of the things that goes is your eyesight.
Yeah.
Just not quite as sharp as those young ladies we had out here.
12 points for Tim. There he broke the ice. That puts him at a 58. So Tim might have.
Yeah, depending on what Jimmy did here.
Yeah, I think Jimmy shot an 8 on the Coyote, so Tim's going to jump back into second place.
Next up, Jimmy Butts.
Yeah.
An 8 for Jimmy. All right, here we go.
So
all right.
56. I would say with Tim being over to the Coyote now, he's calling upper.
Tim Gillingham is now back in the second place.
I think he could see that pretty well. I wonder, how far is the Coyote? Is it 43? Is that what we said?
Yep, that is 43 yards.
I wonder, with him being 8 points behind Randy still, if he won't shoot at the 14. Unless he's trying. Tim, he typically doesn't try to protect the podium spot. He doesn't really care about second or third. So I would think, I don't know. We'll see. He's typically a different kind of aggressive, and if he can see it, he believes he can hit it. He has called upper. That may be just a backup plan, and hey, if I don't like the way my pin's sitting at the 14, I may move over and shoot the upper 12. I've seen that happen before.
He's checking the scoreboard there, doing some math. Looking at himself.
There's Mr. Tony. Tony's got some jewelry on, doesn't he?
He does.
All right, Jimmy, you about ready? We'll start your work now.
I asked him today if he'd give me a Robin Hood tattoo, and he said, I'll do it. Good look at Tim and his setup. Let's see if he goes for that 14. He's a command shooter. When that pin gets where he wants it, he'll touch that release off. He shot at the upper 12 and hit a little low right.
Yeah.
There's a good look at Tony. He's shooting a tension release. Pull, pull, pull. Keep pulling, buddy. Boom. Now he went into 14.
He did.
Just not landing where he's wanting him to.
No.
This is the 4th arrow, so we're going to have a 5th and 6th arrow, I believe. Depends on what Randy does.
So this is Jimmy.
Jimmy. 10
Takes
points for
10.
Jimmy. 66.
Tony is up next.
Not where he wanted that arrow to land, I'm sure.
No.
5 points. That's a 56 for Tony now.
Looks like Paul tried for that 14 and just hit underneath it.
Oh,
Oh, no, he
smoked it.
didn't. Excuse me.
He smoked it.
Yeah, he did.
Boom. That puts him at a 70. So now Paul's going to jump into 2nd place. This is a little back and forth now.
Yeah.
Randy's shooting the longest target.
We know Tim missed and shot a 10.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just going to be at 68.
Randy called upper. Oh, he got it? He sure did.
Got it.
Wow, good comeback. So that puts him at a 78.
Tim's going to end up. He just does not look happy today.
A 10.
Shaking his head.
68. So back to a 8-point lead over Paul, 10-point lead over Tim, and a 12-point lead over Jimmy. So right now it would be just Randy and Paul in a final arrow, but we still have one more regulation arrow to go. Mike giving a little run down there. So Paul's on the longest target now. Randy's on the Coyote. So if Randy would happen to shoot a 12 and Paul happens to shoot an 8, we won't have a final arrow.
We've got upper 12 calls for Paul and Tony, and I can't see Tim if he called it.
Tim's going to have to shoot the 14 here if he wants to have a chance to get on the podium, I believe. Well, he could still finish 3rd. He's in 3rd right now.
So look at Randy's scope setup. You can see that big green dot in the middle there. That's his aiming reference.
The blue is a light that he's
Yep.
got on there to shine, make that dot glow.
I believe that's an ultra view scope.
Is he shooting an ultra view or a B3 release? I'm not sure. Hamsky hat, so we know he's shooting a Hamsky rest. B3 sight, I think. Center 10.
Center 10 for Randy.
Paul didn't like something. He let down. Now he's thinking, what should I do?
Tim just turned around in disgust. So whatever happened, he didn't like.
Yeah, took his hat off too. Got 29 seconds here for Paul. He's settling back in. Probably a 10. He did call upper, but I think he's just under it.
It's a good shot, 49 yards.
There's a look at Tim. He shot at the 14. He did
Oh,
hit that
got it.
14.
He looked upset.
He's upset because he finally hit that one. He's like, daggone it, I missed those others. That's what he's thinking. Smoked it. So that puts him at an 82.
There's a smile from Tim. All right. Good.
He shot himself into the final arrow right there.
He did.
Is this Tony?
Jimmy
No,
Butts is
Jimmy.
up next.
Jimmy went for
It's going to
it.
be a 5.
Puts him at 71. Not going to like that one either, is he? Good weekend. Made the shoot
Sure.
off.
Heck yeah.
Shake those nerves out. Puts him at a 461 for the weekend. He's going to finish in 5th. Paul, I think, got a 10 here.
I believe so. And if it is a 10, then Tim leaped over him into second
Yeah,
place.
it's got to be under that ring, I'd say.
Yep, it is.
It is 10. 480. So Tim will get to shoot second. Looks like Paul's going to shoot first. Tim will shoot second. Randy will be the leader and get the final arrow.
And that is our last chance archery, last chance arrow.
Puts him at an 88.
88.
Now the field is set.
All right.
So Tony finishes in 5th with a 461. Jimmy will be 4th with a 71. Paul's going to shoot first with a 480. Tim will shoot second with a 482. Randy will get the last chance, last arrow with a 488.
Let's give him a round of applause.
All right, so Darren, they may go to an existing target, which it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, looks like they're going to the pronghorn,
Yep.
which is another new target. Not a new target for ASA. We used to shoot
Right.
this target years ago. Each year they take out 2 targets, they bring 2 new targets back. The pronghorn, the antelope that we're looking at right there where they're moving that sign, that's one of the new targets for 23. And then the black buck that you've seen multiple times, the black and white animal downrange, is the second new target. So there is the 6th and final last chance archery, last chance arrow, which we will shoot. And like we said, Paul will shoot first, Tim will shoot second, Randy will know what he has to do, and he'll get the final arrow. If there ends up being a tie, it will be broken by bonus rings. So if there's a tie on score and bonus rings, that's when they'll have another final arrow, but it'll be done and decided by closest to center, not score.
This antelope, I know archers like this one because it's got that nice angled white area right in the middle of the scoring ring, so you can see exactly where that 10, where the center 10 is, and then gauge for your 12s off of that, assuming you can't see them.
Yeah, and
you have a good reference.
And the brown on that target is actually the color of the foam. So the white is actually paint. So once the arrows hit that white paint, it creates kind of a brown spot, black spot.
Yeah.
So when they start pounding those 12s, it really makes a good reference spot on where to aim. So it's not a bad target to add, and it's fairly good size. I did shoot one this weekend for about 50 yards thinking there's no way I'm going to go low, and I still went low. It was a bomb.
Yes, so interestingly, we should talk about that. Normally, 50 yards is the max that these folks are shooting. However, there's a little wiggle room
A little
there
variance.
that can get to 51, and I heard several archers say they think there were a couple 51s out there this weekend.
Yeah.
Keith Alstrom, who shoots in your division, told me. He said he set his sight at 51 and hit a little low.
Yeah. I shot a couple that looked like I shot them for 51 that weren't 51 too. They were a little high, so it goes both ways out there. So here we go with Paul. So that means he's going to shoot at a 14. This is not very far. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be. I don't know.
He moved them up.
They
like
moved. Yeah, they
maybe
moved.
5 yards.
Okay, and it was 36 to begin with, so we're looking at 31 or 32 yards. So they will shoot this 14 ring. There you go. Did you get it?
That looked like it was there to me.
Maybe left side. Can't tell with that camera angle, but it
looks
close.
like it's there.
He's going.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Yeah. He's going to force Tim to go at it now.
Yes.
So that puts Paul at a 94.
All right. 5 my Tyrell calls.
So Tim has no choice.
Yep.
What's going to happen though? If Tim hits it, moves him to a 96, he will pass Paul. Randy's at an 88, so he would just need a 10 to move him to a 98. So Randy's job is really pretty easy at this point. Tim has to hit this 14 to take second. And then hope for some kind of miracle if he were to win.
Yeah.
But Randy's job would be pretty easy at this point, I think. It's never easy, but 31 or 32 yards and just have to hit a 10, that's not a real high-stress shot.
Starts to 1 minute now.
This will be, I think Tim did shoot at that 14 initially. This will be his second go at it. I'd say he probably will get this one.
Ow.
Nope.
Huh?
Or did he? Oh, he did. He gave it the onion.
Again, he reacted
They call it.
like he missed it.
He gave it some English and absolutely donutted it. 14.
That's a great shot.
14 points, 496. So he'll pass Paul. So Randy needs a 10 to be the champion.
You're at 488, Tim's at 496, 480 is an 8. But there's some bonus points to take on the championship. So assuming you're shooting at 14. Not so much. All right, my friend. Are you about ready? The page starts to 1 minute now.
Randy's at full draw.
All right, here we
He just
go.
needs a 10 to win this thing. Boom.
There we
Center
go.
10. That's all he needed. 498 points.
Good for Randy. He's fired up.
At 10, our champion, Randy Morocco. Second place, Tim Gillingham. Third place, Paul Penrod.
First winner of the new senior known pro division.
Good
That's
for
awesome.
him.
Randy's a good guy too. I like to see good things happen to good
Absolutely.
people. Such a polite man, such a great competitor.
Yes, sir.